This report will be an analysis of Coles supermarkets as they have been performing over the past few years and the steps that they can take to ensure that their customers are getting the greatest experience that they can. It will also analyse from the perspective of a persona that I've created, that persona's experience, and what else the supermarket can do better to engage with their target consumer. We did a stakeholder analysis of Coles as a supermarket, finding that one of the key stakeholders being the customer. They are quite important. We've also got the management and the employee, both as significant stakeholders of the workforce. We've got the government and the regulations that come with that. We have got shareholders, the community as well, any suppliers, and also any competition of Coles as a stakeholder. The key role in managing stakeholders being that you do remain in line with the government regulations. That is quite important. You want to maintain a consistent customer base as well, and developing a positive working environment for all employees as well. I have done an opportunity mind map as well as part of my empathy research and empathy analysis. The first of it being that there is an opportunity for technological advancement. This is something that Coles has had a focus on through that customer service and that self service area that they have been focusing on lately. However, this has had backlash, which we will go into later, with people finding that they would much prefer some more of that human contact with the service. The second being the community, it being important to engage with your community at all times. The third being waste and corporate social responsibility. They have had the Second Bite program, reducing waste as well as reducing some cardboard waste and plastic waste, that sort of thing, through recycling programs. As well as the business layout. It's a good opportunity, changing the way that the store layout is as well. It improves efficiency and keeps staff engaged as well. Our next section is focused on empathy research. So that is the conversation, the observation, and the immersion. And these are very important aspects of identifying the problems and the problem space that can be present in this sort of industry. These are the key data points from our primary research that form our conversation research as well. The first of which being more transparency. Customers want to feel like they aren't being lied to as well, especially in the wake of these ACCC inquiries. It is very important that the business, provide further clarification on all of their pricing and their deals. Coming off of that, people want more deals and pricings. They want to be able to know that in a cost of living crisis, they can find the best deal possible at your supermarket. It's very important with maintaining the current customer base. We also would like better human contact. This comes off of the technology that I was talking about earlier. People want to be able to know that there is that human contact there, and that the service that is provided is of the utmost quality as well. These are a couple more key takeaways from our conversation research. The first of which being the graph outlining the spending per week. Most households now spending between that $200 and $300 mark on their groceries. This is a key indicator because the second graph indicates that affordability is one of the key considerations in choosing where they shop. Coles needs to understand that their target market does want more affordable products. Given how much they're spending on groceries per week, that is certainly something that needs to be taken into consideration. The third graph being where they do their grocery shopping. Most people doing that once a week now. It's important to understand how often people are coming through your store, foot traffic and such, to gain a better understanding of your target market. And then finally, just an important justification with that ACCC inquiries, more people nowadays finding Coles as a supermarket as being untrustworthy, which is a shift from being one of the more trustworthy brands and organisations as a whole not too long ago as well. So that's certainly something to take into consideration. To further investigate our findings from our primary and secondary research, we have decided to go through some observation research by travelling to a location to observe the kind of experience that the customers are having. The first key takeaway has been the frustration that a lot of customers have with the pricing as well as that self service thing that I have been mentioning. People want that human contact, and so that's causing a lot of frustration with customers. They are quite rushed with their shopping, observing that customers are finding their whole experience to be very rushed. And that leads into point three being heightened stress. People are stressed about the lack of time that they have as well as the increased prices, and that's something that is a very important consideration. And then the fourth one down there being the discontent with the current pricing and inflation. People, audibly commenting on how much stuff's costing nowadays compared to the past. And all four of these points sort of lead to a mostly negative experience for consumer, which is very important for Coles to consider, given that that's something that you'd like to turn around, certainly moving forward. Finally, through the immersion section, it is important to note that customers, when you do discuss this sort of shopping experience with them, they're incredibly frustrated. This is a quote from a shopper as well. I just can't believe that I'm paying this much every week for the essentials. It's a very important aspect to consider that pricing is the most important factor. Through the primary research, it was identified that affordability was very important, and so this is just a consideration that has to be met. Off the back of the empathy research, I have created a persona that best identifies one target group that I will be focusing on for the rest of this presentation. So we've got Charlie here. He's a young 24-year-old male student living on his own, which was I suppose, a consideration that I did want to look further into. Secondary research pointed that young individuals are quite stressed about their financial situation. And so this is, I suppose, an individual that is quite creative, intelligent, extroverted, and very conscious of how much he's spending on everything. And then also living on their own, we had a variety of responses of individuals living on their own that found that they were struggling financially, and to come up with their sort of experience with shopping week in, week out was becoming quite expensive. So this is certainly a persona that I'd like to delve in deep with some further empathy research there. Off the back of this persona, it's important to create a journey map for their experience throughout the shopping. So this is a complete hypothetical based off of my persona. So we have gone through the shopping experience. So this is first Charlie becoming aware of his situation. He does need to go grocery shopping. This is quite frustrating for him. It's something that he has to do weekly, given that he lives on his own. And then the shopping experience, he understands how expensive that can be. So that is quite a pain point for him. This whole decision process of deciding to go shopping, actually doing the shopping experience as well, it's quite a negative experience for him. He's very pessimistic about it, despite being an energetic individual. And also, upon reflection, he just does not feel very pleased with the whole experience. It has been quite a difficult experience for him, and that experience is reflected in how he feels. And I suppose this is a persona that does reflect the general public at the moment, particularly among the younger community that find that groceries for them, when they are a part-time student like Charlie is, as well as having a part-time job, it can be quite difficult to afford. Here we've got a quick empathy map for Charlie. So firstly, how they think and feel. I suppose he's feeling very frustrated. I've mentioned that, right? Him as a sort of reflection of a lot of individuals, younger individuals, like I'm mentioning, they are quite frustrated. He's hearing people be angry, be stressed around the supermarket as well. The primary pain point that I've identified has been the high prices and the pressure on him. The poor service, which I mentioned as a result of the technological advancement in the self service area, just making it a difficult experience for the customer. And then I suppose the gain there being the promotions that are currently being put on by Coles or supermarkets generally. They have been, I suppose, a bit of a relief for him as a consumer. We've got a POV statement here that is young adults and students need further relief emotionally and financially due to the pressure that the weekly shopping experience can put on them. And this was generated off the back of a lot of my secondary research, as well as the primary research informing Charlie as a persona of this sort of demographic that I'm looking to target. And then finally, we've got our how might we question, that being how might we alter or change our business strategy to better engage young consumers and those facing financial pressures to get them to have a more positive outlook on our company. Now, I have chosen this to sort of reflect how at the moment young consumers are our target audience. They are facing significant pressure and stress as shopping becomes more expensive, especially those living on their own, like I mentioned, students. Um, it's a significant concern, and it's a large part of the consumer base that needs to be identified.